Namita,
Hmm.
I know you're a big time movie fan.
Oh yes.
Why would you love movies so much?
Well, most think that watching movie is just a waste of time. And I watch movies only for three reasons, which is entertainment,
And entertainment. Exactly. But did you know that entertainment can also provide you with knowledge?
knowledge. How?
There are so many movies that can give you and inspire you towards knowledge. I will tell you a couple of movies that can even inspire you in terms of business.
Yes, exactly. You heard it right. That's what we are going to talk about in this particular video, wherein we've got you amazing movie ideas that you as an entrepreneur should watch and get inspired.
This is not just to get inspired, but these will give you a couple of morals which can suggest that do's and don'ts are what you have to learn. So yes, watching movies is not always a waste of time. So if you want to know what are the movies that you would want to learn and get some knowledge towards the business or entrepreneurship, watch this video.
Also, before we move ahead, do not forget to subscribe our channel.
Before we start off with the movies, welcome to the Tea Time with Facts show. The Social Network is my first recommendation to you. Why Social Network? Because it's a biopic about the Facebook founder, Mark Zuckerberg. It shows the entire story all the way from his study at Harvard till the point where he was sued by his brothers for stealing the idea. He was also shunned out of his own friend's company. The entire tragedy of his life, including the success story, is covered in this movie. You can also go and learn a lot how to build your entire business even when you're pushed down the stairs. Yourself is your own creator, and this movie teaches you how to create your own self.
But Vasha, if I'm an entrepreneur, what do I get to learn from this movie? Why should I watch this movie?
Well, that's a really good question. I suggest you watch this movie only because it has a huge moral, and a reason that you have to watch is that even the largest companies and businesses always have a small beginning. No matter how much you're demotivated in life, you just have to keep going. These are inspirational movies, and there is a reason that they're made. It has an amazing script.
Okay, getting sued by his brother?
Exactly. For stealing their ideas, in fact.
Well, that's something I would really love to watch.
Do you have any ideas that you can suggest?
Well, the movie I have in store for you guys is called as Pursuit of Happiness. This is one such movie which was nominated even for Oscar. It is one such movie which you can find in any OTT platform. So this particular movie is an inspiration if you're a student, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a salaried individual, because it shows you different facets of life. It shows you and it teaches you to never give up in life. Well, this movie is based on a real life story of an entrepreneur who was Chris Gardner. The movie actually shows the story of a protagonist being homeless for about 1 year or so, and also undergoing and also facing unpaid internship for 6 months. It shows the struggle that the father and a son undergoes and how they overcome that struggle. It shows how to never give up in life. So what you as an entrepreneur will learn is what are the challenges you might face in the early initial stage of your business and your career, and how you can overcome it. So if you have a goal, if you have a dream to achieve, then learn to never give up in life. This is the amazing movie that all of us should definitely watch.
I've been a fan of Pursuit of Happiness since the time I've watched it, because I happened to watch that movie recently and somebody did suggest that to me. And
Wow.
you should watch it too. The next movie that I will be suggesting to you is something that you all already know. Most of them would have already watched this movie. For people who haven't watched this movie, please do go and watch. Keeping apart from the other aspect of this movie, this is an amazing stock market movie that half of you would have already seen. This is The Wolf of Wall Street. This story is actually based on a true story of Warner Belfort, who goes through a lot of rise and fall as an entrepreneur. This movie tells us about penny stock trading, security scam that actually drew the attention of the FBI. It's a brilliant movie directed by Martin, with best and stunning performance by Leonardo DiCaprio. You have to watch this movie only because of the way you know how the entire scams in stock market happen. If you ask me that why should I watch this movie, I would suggest that you should be watching this movie because Jordan Belfort is a fine example for what an entrepreneur shouldn't be. This movie tells us how a person can be driven by greed and no empathy towards what he's going and what he's investing in. This entire movie tells you how your emotion controls you when you're earning money in the quickest way without any morals.
Oh well, that's one of the greatest movie and must-watch movie, and I do recommend all of you to watch this movie.
So Namita, tell me, what is the movie that you have in store for all of us?
Okay, the next movie in the list I have is The Founder. Can you just guess what the movie is about?
The founder. So who is the founder that you're talking about?
The movie actually talks about how Ray Kroc was able to create his own brand, which is today known as McDonald's. Now, why I recommend you to watch this movie is because it shows and it portrays how Ray, from being a mere salesman to becoming the owner of the global fast food chain that we today know it as McDonald's. So the movie actually teaches you that you as an entrepreneur should always believe in your dream. Now, if you're sitting idle thinking that you can do nothing and you also have a business idea but you do not have enough motivation, you are not inspired enough, then I recommend you to watch this movie because it shows how a common man believed in himself and became a hero. So well, this is the movie suggestion I have in store.
I mean, that sounds great. Just imagine a man going from nothing to everything. So this one pushes you to go towards your dream. So if you're sitting idle, I think you should take Namita's suggestion.
Okay, so now that I've spoken enough, what is your suggestion?
My suggestion for all of you guys is The Big Short. This movie is actually considered and scripted from a book which was written by Michael Lewis. This movie actually tells us about 3 parallel separate stories. These are the stories of individuals who go across the American financial crisis of the year 2007 to 2008 to predict and profit from all these crises. But things don't end well. This movie was actually directed by Adam McKay, and it has an amazing performance given by Kristen Bale. Actually, if you ask me why you should be watching this movie, this gives you a great knowledge about the financial crisis that happened in the year 2007 to 2008. This movie is also told to be one of the best because it doesn't actually bore you to death if you're watching it, because we know how financial crisis documentaries can be. Since this movie is not a documentary and goes in depth regarding these individual lives and tells you about these stories, you can learn a lot. One of the intense scenes that have been told the best is when Mark goes to meet the COD shady manager and decides what he has to go forward for. So this is one of the great movies that I would suggest to you if you have to know how the entire financial structure might just collapse over and over without your knowledge and still give you the knowledge to be educated to face such situations.
Well, that's very informative. Now, keeping some Hollywood movie aside, let's also shed some light on our Indian movies as well. And I have one amazing Indian movie that all of you should watch. Well, we all reach a stage in life where we have no goals. I'm sure all of us have at least faced this in life, that 5 years down the line, I don't know what to do. We might have talent in us, we might have capabilities, enough abilities to prove ourselves, but we also doubt ourselves. And we have that fear of failure. This is one of the common things that we all face. But now I have a movie recommendation for all of you to watch, which will teach you to never give up in life and to overcome the fear of failure. And the movie I'm talking about is Laksh, which means goal. It talks about the boy who has no goal in life, but he ends up becoming an army officer. It talks about how he overcomes all the fear of failure. This movie is starred by Hrithik Roshan himself, and it teaches all the entrepreneurs to never ever stop in one particular stage of life. In life, where you might face certain circumstances which might stop you, which might look like a hurdle, but remember that you can always overcome that. So this is one of the recommendations I have for you guys in store. So what is your take on this, Varsha?
I love this movie, Laksh, personally because I'm a person who is a huge fan of army, and this movie does not only talk about how determined this person was, but it talks about the way he struggled to make sure his mission was complete.
Yes, and always remember to have a goal in your life.
Getting back to the Indian morals have always taught us that it is best to learn from the examples. They always strive towards the movies while they're making that they portray the story first and give the message later. That's how even stories back then were there. So we are going to tell you the best 2 we have saved to the last. I will be telling you a story about 3 boys that even you are well aware of. This movie stars 3 characters called as Raju, Farhan and Transhu. And this movie is called The 3 Idiots. The best part of this movie is that it's called The 3 Idiots for a reason. The story of these 3 engineers, the way they use their knowledge by showing the world that they're dumb. Eventually, people will think that they're dumb, and once Rancho happens to show in their life, that's where everything changes for these 2 boys. This movie is a combination of inspiration, comedy, love and emotion. Why I suggest 3 Idiots is because you don't need a certificate or you don't need a degree to prove your knowledge. You can always prove your knowledge and talent by even not getting these. There are so many people who have so much talent within them but are stuck somewhere in realizing what they're capable of. Do not be demotivated by thinking you can't do it. That could be a milestone, but remember, failure is the first step of success.
So Varsha, we have understood that it is a story of friendship, love, emotion. But what as an entrepreneur do I get to learn?
See, the first thing is that entrepreneur is your goal, but you have to remember the other side of your story too. You should remember at the end you're a human. Sometimes the situations might not end up in the way you think it might, but these are the movies which push towards the goal. I told you that Indian cinemas are those cinemas which push you towards your morals. So I am suggesting this movie. I'm very sure you will love this movie because this story has one amazing ending. Because as I told, this doesn't only focus on education and choose what you would love to do and show your parents why you would love to do that. So watch this movie to get yourself motivated and make sure that you convince your parents and go by the path that you're determined to do. I mean, Namita, have you got your answer?
Oh yes, of course.
This movie is majorly for the students who are still diving in the confusion whether they have to start a business. Should they dive in the option that they have kept since they were a child and their dreams towards it? Please do watch this movie because I recommend you. This movie will give the answers for all those questions.
So now since Varsha has already told you one of the best movies that you should watch, I'm going to tell you one of my favorite movies and I'm sure you too will love it. And it is called Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara. I'm sure most of you who is watching this video might have already watched it. But it is for those who have not yet watched that I recommend that you watch this movie. Well, the movie actually talks about three friends going on an amazing road trip. It shows how one friend is obsessed with his work but he is forced to go on a road trip with his friends. While another friend goes on a road trip to just clear all his misunderstandings with his girlfriend. And the third friend goes on a road trip only to meet his biological father. So all three friends have different agendas to go on that road trip.
I mean, what does it teach, Namita?
Well, for the entrepreneurs, well, the movie teaches that we all should take break in life. And especially the entrepreneurs who are always engaged in their work, they should take this break. They should take a break in their life only so that they can explore the world and get new ideas. Because there's always a saying, right? When you're alone, only then you get amazing ideas. So it's always important to take a break in life and move on. So now, Varsha, I'm sure you too have watched this video. So what is your take on this movie?
My take on this movie is always going to be on top because I love this movie. This movie is a fine example that with your busy life, you must have some recreation.
Because even that is important for your mental health as well.
And they've also told you the most important things such as be motivated. You don't always have to think that you're a failure without even giving it a try. So make sure that you have a motivation. Even if you don't, that's okay because down the lane, some point, you will be the one to reach there.
It's not necessarily that you always get motivated or inspired by looking at others. But movies are the best examples that you can always look up to. So watch these movies and
tell us about the movies that you want us to know and all the others who are watching this video to know and learn information and morals they put out. So before we finish this video, I have a question for all of you. Which is a movie that has this iconic line, greed is good? So if you know the answer, don't forget to comment below. We're going to answer this question in our next video. Please make sure that you follow up to know more details about these fun facts.
Also, if you're someone who wants to start a business, if you want to become an entrepreneur, if you're already a salaried person, now you want to switch to becoming an entrepreneur, then don't worry because we have Freedom app which we can download from either Play Store or App Store and wherein we'll give you hundreds of business ideas that you can start with zero investment as well as low investment.
If you're a movie fan and you love watching and learning from the live examples, then you have to download our app because these have live examples of the actual mentors who have started the business, which even you would want to start and learn from them. If you like this video, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Thank you so much. I'm Varsha Renukumar
and Namita Pandey,
rolling down the curtains for this show.
Thank you for watching Freedom, Get Wise
and Break Free.